So this next segment, don't bet on bets. What does it mean? Brad Holmes is talking about Mathieu bets not being somebody that we should probably look forward to at this time. We need to wait and see what he has and who he's going to develop into and if he's even going to make the roster. So there was a couple of articles that came out about general manager Brad Holmes talking about the difficulty of scouting when it comes to the Canadian Football League, but most importantly, Mathieu bets, and hinted at they have some really crazy methods. Now, they did not give away what their methods are.
Yeah, that's a fair question. You know, obviously, our pro department does a great job. You know, Rob, Justin, Joe, Blake, all those guys, and just to make sure that those leagues are covered, not only the CFL, but you know, all those spring leagues as well. And always make sure that we're abreast on the windows of, you know, when you can bring guys in to work out. You know, those windows are very specified as well. So we do a great job of staying on top of that and making sure that who the top players are. And you know, but yeah, you do look at it and you take like bets, right? Like, you know, you brought him in for a workout. He had a good workout. You know, obviously had a lot of production. And but you look at the competition and, you know, it's not the same as what he's going to be facing at this level. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So with all the production he has now, the thing about him is that, man, that guy plays hard. So he plays like how we want to play. And obviously with all that production, you know, let's go just take a shot and see where it goes. But yeah, you got to look at the level of competition. It's just different, but that's not any different than a small school guy coming out in the draft, you know. And you want to see those small school guys come out of the draft play in a Senior Bowl or an East-West game, and when they don't do that, you got to really do your work. And we've gone through some exercises. I don't even want to get into the details, but we've gone through some exercises that you probably call it's pretty crazy what we've done. Yep. Yeah. There's a way. Look, I'll say this. There's a way where you can find the answers to the test, you know, and get your questions answered. But you got to really dive deep.
That's right. Lions signed Mathieu Betts. You know, he had a crazy productive season. Given that Betts was named the CFL's most outstanding defensive player in 2023, it was a signing that drew a ton of attention, not only from the fans, but also from, you know, the inner workings of Allen Park and Brad Holmes, obviously. So a lot of us thought right away, man, this guy's got the goods. And I broke him down. I did a video on it. Every single one of us was in agreement, I think, that this guy has the goods. But we didn't really take into account, or I mean, I did, but I don't think that all of us take into account that the CFL it's not NFL type offensive linemen, number one. Number two, they play off the ball, like 2 yards or at least 1 yard. So immediate contact is different at the CFL level versus the NFL level. And for a few other reasons, you know, there's concerns and questions that mount when you try to evaluate somebody that's playing differently than how the NFL game is played. Number one, is going up against, you know, the best of the best in CFL, and those might be third stringers in the NFL. It's very difficult to find offensive line help in the NFL already, at least good quality starters. And if those guys just existed in the CFL, then we would see more of those players added to NFL rosters. Now, Betts did finish 2023 with 18 sacks, 4 forced fumbles in 18 games. Following the season, he had a private workout with the Detroit Lions back in December. But due to the strict CFL rules, they weren't allowed to sign him until their new league year started. And when that window eventually opened up, Betts opted to sign with the Lions over any other options. Now, I don't know what other options he was given. I haven't seen any of that stuff come out yet. But we did get a few quotes from Betts, you know, over the last couple of months, where he saw that there was a window of opportunity to make the Detroit Lions 53-man roster. And here's what he had to say. He said, that's the roster we were the most confident that I could crack. Betts said this in a video conference in February. It was the first workout that I had this offseason, and the chemistry, the energy, the discussions I've had with the staff over there just felt right. The Lions, they obviously liked what they saw. They signed Betts, you know, of course, to, you know, futures contract. He's got a relentless playing style, extremely high motor. He's got vicious hands. He's a pure tackler. I mean, we could go on and on and on about what his tape looks like. Brad Holmes had this to say. He said, man, that guy plays hard. He plays like how we want to play. And obviously with all that production, let's just go and take a shot and see where it goes. But Holmes did preach a lot of caution with bets. And that's why I called this segment Don't Bet on Bets. Good offense, like I said, good offensive line depth is hard to find in the NFL. So imagine the kind of players that Betts was rushing against and at the CFL level. Holmes knows you can't put too much stock into the CFL production. Holmes went on to say this. He said, obviously had a lot of production, but you look at the competition and it's not the same as what he's going to be facing at this level. So you've got to keep that in mind as well with all the production he has. Look, I'm excited about Betts. I think that this is a great opportunity for him to crack a roster. I think it's a great opportunity for the Lions to find that diamond in the rough, and finding, other means of ways to find players where maybe other teams aren't generally looking all the time. It went on to say Holmes wasn't willing to give up any of the information about the scouting team and what they look for in this rigorous process that they went through to evaluate a player like Betts. But what he said and this is his exact word, it was extra, that these scouting professionals had to do that, go through the extra mile here. He said, when they don't do that, play in all-star games is what he was talking about. You've got to really do your work. And we've gone through some exercises on it. I don't even want to get into details, but we've gone through some exercises that you'd probably call us pretty crazy for what we've done. I'll say this, there's a way you can find the answers to the test and get your questions answered, but you've got to really dive deep. So where is this going to end with Betts? Hopefully on the 53-man roster is where I would love to see him. If Brad Holmes is confident in the ability of his scouting team and these exercises that they put Betts through, then I'm pretty confident this guy could probably have the best shot ever to make this roster in his first shot. I can't imagine that it's going to be any worse than what we had last year. But if this guy gives us at least half the energy that he had last season in the CFL, I think we're already winning. You give him a full offseason, with AG and this defense, and I think sky's the limit for this kid. But I think that at the end of the day, we need to take a step back as fans and not just expect that every guy that they're bringing in is going to work out, because that's not going to happen. It's never happened. Brad has been very lucky with his drafts, or very calculated, very consistent, or maybe he's just that good. But there's some times where we're going to take some lumps. We're going to have some misses. Betts is one of those players where you can really have a big miss here. And I hope that they figure that out before they do the 53-man cut. And they'll have plenty of opportunity, as long as Betts stays healthy, to see him in action all summer long. So that's it for this little segment on Don't Bet on Betts.